Hello, everyone. Welcome to our podcast, Me Media. Today, me and other hosts are going to talk about the issue of fetishization of women in sports. Now we're going to introduce ourselves. My name is Valeria. I'm from Kazakhstan.
Hello, I'm Anna. I'm from Russia.
Hello, my name is Julia. I'm from Russia too.
Hello, my name is Polina. I'm from Estonia.
Okay, so we, like Julia, me, and Anya are the hosts, and now we have our guests from their respective field. Polina is going to share her experience and her thoughts on today's issue. Speaking of the fetishization of athletic female bodies, I think everyone has already heard about scandalous female runners' sportswear from Nike for the Olympic female runners, right? It faced a lot of backlash online, and we would like to hear from our guest her opinion on overall issue of fetishization of female bodies. First, could you please introduce your background with sports?
Yes, sure. So I've been active my whole life. I first used to do ballroom dancing, but I tried different kinds of sports as well, such as swimming and martial arts. And I got into weightlifting and bodybuilding, as well as competitive bodybuilding when I was 17 years old. So I've been lifting heavy weights since then, and I've also got certified as a personal trainer by ISSA, and I do work part-time as a personal trainer and a group trainer as well.
Okay, good. So we can say that you encounter this issue basically on an everyday basis for numerous years by now.
Okay, so back to the Olympic runners. As you might already know, this is a quite vivid example of the issue. So we would like to continue our discussion with this topic. As you already know, the uniform is an important part of like every sport. So this example illustrates how women are objectified and sexualized in the modern world. We have prepared some examples for you. So along with Olympic runners, there's another example of Norwegian women volleyball team that got fined in 2021 by European Committee because they rejected to wear the uniform that they suggested, which was just a top, and I don't know even how to call it. It resembled just panties. So I personally, I don't even know. I'm not sure about your reaction, but like, I think we all agree that like this is so hard to imagine how to even like walk in this, and they had to like play.
So the males, their uniform is like long shorts, and the top is like what is really like comfortable. When you see that picture, you can easily see how they are treat females and males, because women, they are overly sexualized. I think like female sportsmen, they are kind of like not okay, how to say, familiar that kind of treatment.
And also like they excused it. They told like this is they were playing in a sand, and they excused it by saying that it would be more comfortable for women to play in like those tiny panties, even though it doesn't make any sense, because as we know, male team were wearing like those long shorts. Yeah, so it doesn't make any sense, but they still had to like excuse themselves, which I see pretty, I don't know,
Problematic, you want to say? Yeah, and Hall mentioned that fetishism is a strategy of having it both ways, like for both representing and not representing the taboo, dangerous, or forbidden object of pleasure and desire. And I think that's pretty much what applies to this situation, that they're sort of revealing as much of a female body as possible, but at the same time they're implying that no, they're wearing shirts, they're wearing tops, they're okay, and it is comfortable. You see, they're playing. At this point, it just manifests the system in which female sports exist. They mainly narrate women's bodies on the screens for male viewers. Just to gain their attention, they need to sexualize themselves. They're often involved in objectification. And from this point, I would like to ask our guest, Polina, how do you feel about this kind of occasion in athleticism when you really need to put yourself out there, maybe not in the most pleasant way comfortable for you, like could be mentally difficult for you, but you know that it will sell.
Yes. So, well, first of all, on the topic of sexualization of female Olympians, it dates back to at least 60s or 70s, when females, where women were accepted as track and field players or beach volleyball players alongside men. And since it was seen as an invasion of women into a male-dominated field, they were trying to represent women as less harmful or less invasive. And because of that, they tried to portray women as less masculine. And even when they were playing sports as professional athletes, they were supposed to smile. They were supposed to seem play more for the cameras and wear this type of tight-fitting, revealing clothing. Even though, as you can see, it continues today. Men can wear longer unitards, but when women are supposed to wear those booty shorts or revealing tops. And of course, this is problematic. As you said, women are supposed to smile even though they may not feel comfortable wearing those kinds of clothes. And I think it's an issue of the system that women are part of. And women are not supposed to, but have to play by the rules set by the patriarchy. So, yes, unfortunately, women have to sell this look of sexiness alongside with athleticism. I think the system needs to change and women should not try to accommodate male viewers, and it's not on athletes to cater to the male gaze. It's their job to perform and do well in their sports, represent their country and whatnot. It's not their job it shouldn't be their job to look sexy for someone else's pleasure.
Yeah, totally agree.
So yeah, we watched some video, there's a bunch of female sportsmen, and they talk about you need to focus on our game, not in our appearance. I'm agree with that, how women need to follow some rules to get some investors and sponsorship, I guess, because of marketing and all this stuff. So that's kind of sad though, because I don't know, usually females, when they win, the people can say, oh, she was just lucky, and not because of her hard working, just because oh, maybe just time just you were lucky or something like that.
I just wanted to add that since women, they don't have sponsorship, they always have to chase this attention from the audience, and I feel we can say that they are kind of benefiting from this, but at the same time they just don't have another option. They just don't have another choice. And so some might think that less clothes means more sexy, but at the same time feeling sexy it's more about confidence. And by showing revealing clothes, by suggesting women to wear revealing clothes, they just showing their disrespect basically.
I wanted to ask actually Paulina about this. Like, can women benefit from self-objectification except for gaining sponsors? What if it goes against her moral compass? And is there a win situation for a woman in sports regarding like self-objectification?
So, as a fit individual or an athlete, when you wear revealing clothing, you might reap the same benefits that are like similar to pretty privilege. So, yeah, on the professional level, this might mean that you get more fans and sponsorships even. Yes, but what was the latter part of the question?
Is there a win situation for a woman, like except for materialistic side?
Okay, so I'm not sure about that because, of course, it should be up to the woman if she wants to feel sexy and confident. But I think there should be a distinction between feeling confident and being objectified. The two don't have to go hand in hand, and it should be possible to be viewed as a human being who looks good without being objectified, and there's definitely a conflict between the two. I used to be an athlete, of course not an Olympian, but I personally did not enjoy this kind of objectification that is very ingrained in a lot of sports. I wish it was not a thing in the first place.
I just want to say to feel sexy and beautiful and confident, it's really like normal thing, and I think it's like women are beautiful. At the same time, the people need to see in women like athlete, not the object. That's what I want to say. So yeah, I'm agree with you.
Speaking of confidence and muscles, like overall appearance, lately there's been this trend for muscle mummies on the internet. If somebody does not know muscle mummies, let's say it's a widely accepted ideal body type for women who hit the gym. Since it combines heavy lifting and more relaxed diet, which allows one to enjoy their favorite foods like sweets and stuff. At the same time, it's also a lifestyle more than just dieting for a certain amount of time before the competition. The main features of muscle mummy are prominent muscles with, let's say, aesthetically pleasing, conventionally attractive fat percentage. And I don't think that you could see a lot of muscle mummies in Olympic sports because mainly muscle mummy are associated with the gym because it is mainly about the aesthetic, about the body type, and usually Olympics are not about that. So as a person who I identify as a muscle mummy, I would love to ask about your experience because on your Instagram I see on a regular basis very beautiful content about body. And I would, relating to our previous topic, don't you feel like you're involved in self-objectification?
For me, my social media is somewhat of a diary where I can, for my own sake, leave those memories of myself, including me working out because that is my main hobby and it brings me a lot of joy. So, even though it is an open diary, so it is visible to other people, my account is private, but my followers can see it, obviously. There are two sides to it. First of all, I don't do it for their gaze. I do it primarily for myself. But second, part of me does it for advertising purposes. So, and the main aspect of the advertisement is not necessarily, that I'm, sexy, but that if you work hard like me, or if you work with me, then you can also achieve results that you would like to show on your Instagram or that you would like to share with other people. So, of course, as a trainer, Part of it is selling my looks, but I don't feel weird about it. It feels very natural because a big part of me does it for myself and I enjoy it. I just enjoy myself. So I wouldn't call it self-objectification, but part of it is I'm definitely monetizing on it to an extent.
Have you ever received any messages from from guys like DMing you?
Yes, unfortunately, online sexual harassment is a daily occurrence for me. I receive a lot of DMs, and even on the streets, I have been approached by people, or at the gym, I have been approached by people who are mainly just attracted to my physical appearance, and a lot of whom might not care beyond that about anything about me. So yes, I have received a lot of very explicit comments, but again, I do not feel like it's on me to try to prevent this from happening. I think it's people should not give unsolicited comments, and it's regrettable that a lot of men think that it is okay to just, you might have to bleep this later. I will to say things like, oh, do you want or something like this, but no hi, no hello, just straight up. Straightforward. Just asking things like that, or the mildest comments are probably something like "step on me" or or I want to be crushed by your thighs. But yeah, those are funny actually. I do take the milder ones as a compliment because they're often related to my strength or make me feel dominant, I guess, and empowered in a way. So in that sense, they're entertaining, but when they cross the line and become too sexual or too vulgar, then it's obviously, I just immediately block them.
I just want to say, you look amazing. I have such a big respect for people who really dedicate, go to the gym and do all the exercises, and if you follow your special diet or meal. So I have a question. Do you think about it will be better if people will see your hard working instead of only body on how much working you put in that, or?
Oh, definitely. Before coming to Korea, I was sort of a wannabe fitness influencer, and I used to upload reels when I was just exercising, and my main agenda or point was that I wanted to show true, efficient exercises that bring you results instead of what you can often see on Instagram with fitness influencers who show themselves from their best angles, or wear the kind of clothing and specifically edited in a way that looks almost pornographic. So even though I'm posting less content like that, I still regularly post about my routine, showing what it takes and showing how many calories I burned or how many minutes I exercised, saying that it's not easy and it takes a lot of effort and dedication, but at the same time it's achievable. That's the kind of message I'm trying to promote.
Okay, now I want to apply for you.
This is my coach. She created me.
So we have examples.
I wanted to ask also, going back to your topic that you said that you don't mean it as a self-objectification when you film yourself for the Instagram. How do you know where to draw the line between self-objectification and just, for example, empowerment and just enjoying your body and who you think you are, who you put yourself as?
I think it is a personal question that each person who puts themselves out there should ask themselves. And it is for each and every person individually to decide. It cannot be decided collectively by other people who see you, because at that point it's them objectifying you, or it should be a thing of choice. So once you can confidently feel and tell yourself and honestly know that you are doing it for yourself, for your own sake, and you are enjoying yourself, then I think it's not a problem regardless of the way you dress or how you act. Now, others may not like it, or others may objectify you or project their conservatism or their values, their moral standards onto you. But as long as you are confident with yourself and you're not objectifying yourself, then it's not objectification. But with that being said, I don't necessarily feel, and this should be stressed, that self-objectification is always negative. So I wish it wasn't necessary, but as you have said, it's for commercial purposes. I can see why people do it, and I would never be judgmental of that.
Yeah, actually, yeah, it's totally understandable given the system that we live in, the patriarchy, that women are actually put in the system when they need to get the attention of the viewers who are mainly interested in male sports, and in order to receive more sponsorship and attention to their sports and continue doing what they love, they are put in the position when they voluntarily choose to put themselves in that kind of light.
I don't know, you guys talk about the self-objectification. So for me, that kind of thing, I was like, I don't know, when I was at high school, I guess, I got a lot of comments from my peers about my body. And after that, I think I started to wear like really baggy clothes, I guess, because I started to think like if I will like wear this kind of clothes, people will see like my personality, not my, like, let's say, body. But I think it's this kind of how I'm thinking, like it's wrong, because at the same time I want to be like more feminine and sexy, I guess, because I like how it, like, some clothes look on me, but I wear it only at my house, and then just like take some pictures. I'm just like, oh, okay, I like it, but no, I cannot go out with that clothes, because like I'm start to think like, oh, maybe like that person will think like that and that feel like that. So like I tried couple of times, and of course I can see some male gaze, and I felt so uncomfortable, so I'm just like keep wearing like really baggy clothes. But I don't know, can we change it or not? How does society just work with that? I don't know. I think it's real like deep question though, because, or maybe I need to work in that question too, because I don't know, I just wanted the people see women as just like a person, even just like you can be sexy and smart at the same time, you can be strong and feminine at the same time. So yeah, it makes me really sad, like, I don't know.
Yeah, agreed. It is unfortunate that we live in this society that that really emphasizes one part of a woman. It's actually a very, I don't know, funny, not so funny, actually disturbing, but a funny phrase that I received from, I don't know, like elderly people from my family when I was a kid. And basically, like elementary school, I received anything lower than A. And they say like, well, yeah, a woman is usually either beautiful or smart. You're beautiful. And I was like, thank you.
Yes, I think it also kind of sheds light to, I don't know, post-Soviet countries and the mindset that's very prevalent in those kind of countries, because, well, I'm from Estonia, as I've said before, and maybe it's also just a generational gap, But my own father also, my parents are separated, but when my mom would talk to my father, they still stay in touch. He would comment and say, "Oh, I went on Polina's Instagram," and I was like, I wish I hadn't gone there. Like the things I saw, like, oh, it's so horrible. Because spoiler alert, I have pictures from like photo shoots where I'm wearing like a swimsuit, or like sporty photo shoots, again, which are supposed to emphasize muscles and strength, but my own father kind of sexualized them, which is very weird. Yeah. And he saw them as like too revealing or too sexy for other people to see. And then he keeps suggesting me to post pictures from the library, or how I go to like a museum,
from the church.
And the thing is, the two are not mutually exclusive. I can go to the gym and in the morning, and then go study at the library in the afternoon, and go to a museum in the evening. And like, if I'm not religious, but I could like post pictures just from the gym. It doesn't mean that I am only into sports and I have no brains. Obviously, I'm at KU. Like, I wouldn't be here if I wasn't good at studying. So yeah, there's definitely this compartmentalizing of women into like sections. You can only be this or only be that. And if you're sexy, there's no way you're smart. A lot of people who only know me from college or university, they are surprised when they hear that I go to the gym, because what do you mean you're smart, you're studying well? What do you mean you're into fitness? Or people who are at the gym, they're surprised when I say that I have a scholarship and that I study well, because what do you mean you're into fitness? How can you also study well? Like, as though they're mutually exclusive, which they're not.
I just think like it's because of like patriarchy, and in patriarchy, like people just scare like strong woman, I guess. So like when like a woman is strong and have some power to do something, instead of like just motherhood, I guess, like they just like, okay, how we will like deal with that. Like I think like the male just really like scared that kind of thing. And I don't know, I like in patriarchy they just see women as just like they can do this like a motherhood thing. Yeah, but yeah, we were just born for that, guys. So to be mothers, I guess, and nothing like important thing. Yeah, that's kind of sad.
And we also found this quote. Because sports offer women the potential for reducing physical power imbalances on which patriarchy is found and refuted. One way to limit and de-emphasize women's physical power and capabilities is to associate female athleticism with female sex appeal.
Yeah, actually, while doing a research for this podcast, we've encountered a couple of interviews, but some sources quoted female athletes that are described as lucky or beautiful and sexy, instead of capable, strong, like with high endurance and stuff. I think that's very much related how men mainly perceive female athletes as objects, regardless of their sports, regardless of their physique and their capabilities. I actually heard of the cases when, for example, UFC fighters, female fighters, they're supposed to be fighting, and let's say their stats are somewhat relatively the same, and men who do not know a single soul, like among those fighters, they just choose the one they think is prettier, and they will be fangirling for those fighters just because they're prettier.
So I just want to say, when I talk about sport with my friends, I guess, what I heard about like female sports, it's always like, oh, they cannot do some sport, or just like, oh, female football, what is that? Like you cannot watch it, or like blah blah blah. That's kind of like comments. And usually, like when you think about female sportsmen, what you think? It's just like ice skating or like gymnastic, not what like with real like I mean like ice skaters, they're really like strong, but you guys know what I mean, right? Just like in beautiful clothes and do some like pretty moves. But when it's about like how to say, let's say like more masculine sport, I guess people not think about the female. What they think, they are just like mostly males, I guess. They just like had that kind of thoughts in their heads, I guess. Yeah.
Does it also emphasize that men are afraid of women? Like
Yeah,
masculine?
I guess like this like Lord
Yeah.
yeah, talk about it a lot. Like male kind of scared of strong bond of female, because if we will together and start to change our society, they will lose that kind of power, I guess. So and we will equal, and I think they don't want it.
Yeah, it is heavily manifested in a lot of fields in countries and nations who want to gain control over women and their bodies. For example, in one of the readings we did before, Okin was talking heavily about bodily practice in Muslim countries when women are forced to wear more covering clothes, and in some regions people perform surgeries on female genitals. So it is just once again shows us how men want to emphasize their power on women, how they want to execute their power as a system. Speaking of the system and empowerment, I would love to ask Paulina, how do you feel about such a system that we live in, and how can women execute their power, their will to be who they are?
Well, it is an interesting question to ask, because if you look at the different waves of feminism, there have been different approaches to how women try to gain or achieve this empowerment. And for example, in the third wave of feminism, as far as I know, it is about positioning yourself, like objectifying yourself or being super sexy. You can see this in like American rap, and rappers like Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion or Nicki Minaj, who will rap about their body, and it's very body focused. They literally have a song Body. So because they try to, by rapping about this, about their appearance and about being sexy, they're challenging patriarchy, because patriarchy wants you to be modest, but it has to be a sexy kind of modest, or it's only acceptable when it's enforced by men. But when women claim it, and when the woman is the first to take her clothes off and say, this is me, like, look at me now, then from that moment, it can become empowering for women. And again, I think it is personal, so every woman should decide for herself. Some women may find empowerment in being covered, like some Muslim women, they feel like it's, besides, for religious purposes, like connection to God, they may also feel empowered through that. Some other women may feel empowered by dressing more revealing. I'm one of those women, especially in such a conservative and Confucius society as South Korean society. I do find myself often wearing like extra revealing clothes, or not wearing a bra and just going braless. Well, because I like how it looks like on me, and because I know that people are because I'm a woman and I'm a foreigner, people are gonna stare anyway. So the motto I live by is, might as well give them a show. And I feel empowered when I do that. I don't care when people look at me. They're gonna look anyway. And some people are gonna objectify me regardless of how I dress. So, I don't find it empowering personally to cover up. I find it empowering to dress, however the fuck I want. And, defy social norms and mostly patriarchy, like the norms of the patriarchy.
That sounds like a good way to go about it.
Yeah, I'm kind of like envy because I want that kind of like mindset. Yeah. Okay, I will work on it, I guess.
So to wrap up today's episode, we would love to emphasize how this issue really does exist, and we can see it manifest itself all over again. And we're very hopeful, I think, as a team. I can say for everyone that we're hopeful that this is going to change and women are soon to be seen, at least as people, and then as decent athletes, because for now it is heavily like objectified overall, like female sports and women, I'd say in general. From what I found very insightful from today's talk is Palina's phrase about how you define self-objectification when you see yourself as self-objectifying, or when you just do it for yourself, when you just enjoy what you're doing. And it is up to the other side to objectify you or not, because a decent human being would actually think before sending some very explicit messages. Thank you for your attention. Thank you, Palina, for coming here today and talking to us.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Goodbye. Hit the like button. Subscribe.
The link on Polina's training and the subscription.